we have an expert with us who is going to guide us on, how to deal with what is the law of malicious prosecution. Okay, if false cases are filed and it is exposed to be false later on, what can be done after that, right? So thank you so much and for coming all the way from North Delhi, I believe, West Delhi, and making time for us in Gurgaon, and thank you so much. So would you like to start by sharing your experiences around this?
So litigation also has its ups and downs. So as the economy, as the society evolves, which is directly reflected in actually litigation. So in 80s and 90s, you would see more cases of 498A, actually, genuine cases. That was the reason why the legislature thought that we should enact laws. Then you witnessed in late 21st century, in this 2010 era, that you had a lot of sexual harassment and rape cases. So legislature became active. So actually legislature will always become active when they see something happening in the society. But what happens is that the legislature moves on. So there is some fire and then you put water and sand and then you move on. But you don't see behind. But that is behind is what is troubling the society. So I am connecting this to this subject. Why? Because if you look at Dowry Prohibition Act, he talked about 498A. So Dowry Prohibition Act was enacted in 1963. And 95% do not know that it is gender neutral. But what is the convention is that it is perceived that the groom asks for the dowry from the bride's family. But whereas if you see legislature in its wisdom, it kept it gender neutral. Now interestingly, when 498A was enacted, which was in 1983, after 20 years, because there were actually genuinely dowry deaths taking place in the society and brides were being harassed. So legislature thought, let us provide a provision that somebody who is torturing because of the demand will have 498A for that purpose. Now that was not gender neutral, interestingly. That is only for the wife. The poor husband will have nothing, whether right or wrong.
Yes, there are a lot of videos now on social media where the husband is getting beaten on camera.
Yeah.
But they cannot file.
So I will come to gender neutral laws after we have set the tone for the malicious prosecution actually. So that was not gender neutral. Now the backlash is today. At that time we addressed the problem in the society by having the strong 498A. So I am not saying that any law is bad law. There is no law which is bad law. Only practitioners are bad. Right? There are only bad lawyers. There are no bad laws. Now we are seeing the backlash today because now the girls are demanding dowry. Right? But you don't have any answer to that. Where will you go? Legislature did not keep that in the provision. Right? So that is one aspect to it. Now as he was talking about the student who filed cases and then, so the purpose of laws actually is to empower you, to integrate you in the mainstream. If anything has been left out, it should be by way of law, I will uplift. But that does not mean that I will start abusing that. Now what happens is, I am in a live-in relationship for so many years, everything is going fine. One fine day I get up, no, he actually forced himself upon me. Now, where will the poor fellow go? No, I am not saying that genuinely if it happens, then yes, you have no other remedy. But we have seen that in case of consent, where there is a consent also.
Not only consent, there are cases like where this Ghaziabad police just registered a case like that. So it's incredible. Like somebody was found, and even Delhi, the women's right, women's what is it called? The Women's Committee,
National Commission.
Delhi Women's Commission, right? So the chief of that has tweeted saying that this person was found gang raped in a sack, right? In a sack with inserted in her private parts, rod inserted in her private parts. And then it turns out that, like, at least as per the police case, I mean, obviously a verdict is not passed on that, but police finds that there was the accused and police arrested the accused first. Then police finds that the accused had a property dispute with this lady, and the lady had other friends who put her in a sack, according to police case, and put her on the road to register her.
So she planted everything actually. She planted her abduction, she planted everything to show that yes, she is the victim of it. Whereas actually on the contrary, she is the perpetrator of the offense. Right? No, it's become very easy. Why it is easy? Because if she files any other false complaint, it will take years. So this is the shortest possible route you can adopt. So they thought that okay, let me adopt that. Now this brings me to another problem. That why people are resorting to malicious prosecution?
It's a very good question.
Why? If my problem can be solved in a genuine manner, why should I actually adopt this practice? Because I know the system is such that it will not give me relief the way I want. So this is like quick buck, right? Rich by night, fly by night. So that is what is happening. So system has to be blamed. Now this has become a vicious circle. Now who is victim of this entire thing? You and me. Why? Because we are sponsoring their litigation. It's taxpayers' money which goes to police, which goes to investigation, which goes to running the courts, which goes to PPs, which goes to judges. Who is enjoying? They are all enjoying. And who is paying? All of us together. And we think that by launching this kind of prosecution, we are doing good to us. Sorry. You are actually blocking, choking the system. Where actually genuine complainants are struggling. Now, how it started? We say that if I go and file a partition possession suit as that lady apprehended, it will take 5 to 10 years. So let me get recourse to 354. I may get the solution.
I will get a settlement.
Right. Hindsight. Now, interestingly, first, this system actually propelled her that you launch this kind of prosecution. Now, by launching this prosecution, she is further choking the system. So, it is not going to actually get better by doing this. So, now what is happening? Even the judicial system is accepting this fact. Now comes the next part, how to address it actually. How to address is, there are various options, civil as well as criminal. Now this malicious prosecution is actually happening in both sides, criminal and civil. So civil you file a case, then you start filing application after application, so that the other party gets choked. The idea is actually to harass, to bring the other party to the table. I am not interested in the outcome. I am not interested in the relief. That is the main motive behind malicious prosecution. I am interested in vindictive agenda. I am interested in harassment. I am interested in settlement to my terms.
It's arm twisting basically.
Absolutely. And it is working. Strangely it is working. Why it is working? That is to be seen.
Because system was not built imagining this kind of a situation.
Now who goes to the court? There are two kinds of people. One who has done wrong and one who has been wronged. There is no third category of people in the courts. Third category is only lawyers. Right? So now you have to decide that whether you have been wronged or whether you are doing wrong. Now increasingly the scales are shifting in the favor of those who are doing wrong. So instead of the person who has been wronged approaching the court first, what happens is the person who is committing wrong goes to the court first, so that I can get first mover advantage. So that the other party will before either it will come to settlement, or either he will say, I will not go to court. It's better that settle it out. Right. Now, how to address it? This menace I would call. And it is slowly, gradually actually eating into the entire system. The entire administration is being actually plagued by this. Because it's easy. Why? Because even in court, we will come to the technicalities. Why it is difficult in court and why it is easy in administration. The day-to-day public offices, ministries, as he said. Because that she is a lady, she knows the repercussions of going to court and making false statement. In administration, you go, nobody will care a damn. I can file 10 complaints and still get away with it. Right? Because the law is such. Now what the law says? Making false statement before public servant. But public servant, they do not have machinery to discharge their obligated functions. So how can you expect them to discharge this function? They will say, boss, thank God that lady has gone away. Instead of filing a complaint against that lady for making a false statement before public servant under 211, they will say, sorry boss, at least she has gone.
Less paperwork for me.
Exactly. Because the system is not tuned towards that. And that is why it encourages more and more. Now what happens is,
But I just want to say it's not only ladies who file false cases.
No.
Okay, I want to tell you a story. Just came to me, right? So yesterday one of my friend calls me and says that, like, she has like a divorce case, 498, all these cases going on, right? And this case is happening somewhere in MP. Okay, she has suddenly got a call from a police station in Telangana that there is a FIR registered against you.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a FIR registered against you, and she's like, why? I have not been there. And then we sent a lawyer to that police station. We found out that it has been filed based on a 156(3) complaint.
Private complaint.
Okay, so, and she has never got a summon, nothing. She has no idea how did this happen. Okay, and now there's a FIR against her there. Like, how is she going to go from Jabalpur or whatever place to Telangana and fight this? And police is saying, come join the investigation, you meet us, we have to ask you questions. And this is a theft complaint. Like, in all probability, we don't even know who has filed it yet because she hasn't got a copy of it. But imagine, like, it's such a simple solution for all legal problems. You are not winning your case, file something somewhere, and they'll be so harassed. Like, right now she is like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
Like, can you make this go away somehow? Right? Why is there a FIR against me? Right? Can I just go and file a FIR against them like this? This is what she's asking.